If you have ever felt helpless watching your cat suffer from trauma, seizures, or the slow decline of dementia, this video will show you that there is so much more that you can do than just medicate and wait. From at-home therapies like red light therapy, for example, to supplementation and food therapy, there are real tools that strengthen the brain and regulate behavior and also help your cat thrive and not just survive. Let's discuss. This is part 3 of our 4-part series on neurological support for cats. If you missed part 1 or 2, you definitely want to go back and watch those first. So you should see somewhere in the screen the links to these initial videos. So in part 1, I explained why your cat's bad behavior might be neurological due to trauma, seizure, or cognitive decline. And in part 2, I unpacked what traditional veterinary medicine can actually offer, where it works, and where it falls short, basically. So today, in part 3, we move into holistic territory, and which is very exciting for me, and this is where healing often really begins. I'm Dr. Paola Zanibelli-Davis, the Holistic Cat Specialist and founder of the Holistic Cat Club. I help you and your cats live extraordinary lives together by unlocking the secrets of natural remedies and positive training, because not having alternative options should not be an option. I am a doctor of psychology and a holistic pet health coach, certified by the American Association of Veterinary Boards and trained in feline holistic care, including nutrition and behavior support. While conventional medicine can stabilize symptoms, it rarely leads to healing on its own. My aim is to help proactive cat parents like you turn confusion, overwhelm, and even disappointment into confidence, knowledge, and results using natural remedies and nervous system science and advanced behavioral techniques. So I do work closely with the veterinarians, but I also go beyond the pill and hope sort of approach, because healing often happens at home in the small choices that you actually make every day. And so let's get into the heart of what holistic support really means when it comes to the feline nervous system. So we are going to explore mainly 3 areas of holistic support you can carry out at home. And these areas are nutrition, supplementation, and home-based therapies for neurological support. So you have so many tools, as you can see, at your fingertips, and these are simple things that you can do right in your home. So first of all, let's talk about nutrition. What we feed our cats can build or break their brain health, because a species-appropriate, minimally processed diet rich in protein, taurine, healthy fats, and prebiotic fiber nourishes both the brain and the gut, which, as science confirms, are deeply connected through the gut-brain axis. Prebiotics support the microbiome, which in turn regulates inflammation, mood, and nervous system functions. Cats are obligate carnivores, and as you probably already know, and processed diets filled with starches or synthetic preservatives or additives, these spike, unfortunately, blood sugar and gut inflammation. So this can worsen anxiety, they can trigger seizures, or it can deepen confusion in aging brains. So when you pivot to a high-quality meat-based regimen, ideally fresh or gently cooked or maybe frozen raw, and sometimes even high-quality canned, you can reduce neurological load and feed restorative nutrients to your cats. So here's the challenge. There isn't one size fits all in this. So what works wonders for one cat can trigger symptoms in another, especially when you are navigating trauma and chronic inflammation or seizure activities or even dementia, as we are talking about in these videos. So sometimes even finding the right food locally becomes its own source of stress. So this is why being part of a professional, supportive community like the Holistic Cat Club, for example, makes all the difference. Inside the HCC, members can ask questions about nutrition, among many other things, 5 days a week, from product ingredients to texture preferences to how to safely rotate proteins or troubleshoot transitions. And you are not guessing, you are getting real professional practical answers that consider your specific cat, your specific location, and your budget as well. So this isn't just about food, it's about the confidence that you can feel when feeding your cat right, and knowing that you're not alone as well, and knowing that when you hit a wall, for example, you can post a message and a qualified holistic response is coming to you quickly. So whether you're navigating gut sensitivity or neurological issues or just starting your feline food journey, this kind of support is really powerful and it's available to you. So we are going to talk about supplements now, and these aren't just feel-good add-ons, and when used properly, these supplements support brain chemistry, they lower inflammation, and they nourish the nervous system from within. So I have chosen a few here that you can use immediately, and usually these help most cats with neurological issues. And then of course there are some that I only recommend after hearing the history of that particular cat and after knowing a little bit more information. But these ones are pretty standard and very safe to use in the correct dosages. So one of them is CBD. Usually I advise for full or broad spectrum, and you should choose an organic full or broad spectrum CBD oil that includes trace cannabinoids and terpenes, not just isolates. So a few drops, for example, under the tongue or mixed with food, if you will, and if your cat accepts that. You can also add the CBD oil on the skin and smear a couple of drops on the ears or even on the belly if it is very, very difficult for you at this stage to actually get supplements inside your cat. But for example, these solutions can definitely lift mood and also reduce seizures and ease anxiety and also reduce stress in general. So I do have a recommendation, by the way, for people living in the UK in the description below. This is one of my favorite CBD products and company here. So yes, if you want to check it out, it is just in the description below. And okay, so there are certain things that you can do with the CBD oil, and usually these products come with a recommended dose, and you can definitely start with a quarter of the recommended dose and slowly build it up over a couple of weeks to the recommended dose. And because increasing these things gradually ensures safety and ensures that there are no adverse reactions, of course. And this is very, very safe generally, but you always want to look for signs of calm versus sedation. So you want to just keep an eye on your cat. I show my cat parents how to do this gently but effectively inside the Holistic Cat Club's training modules if you want more hand holding. But now let's move on to another supplement here. So another supplement that I would definitely consider in this case is omega-3 fatty acids. So we're talking about EPA, DHA. Now, these fatty acids are essential for protecting the brain, and they improve neurotransmission, they reduce oxidative damage, and they slow cognitive aging. So I recommend really high quality oils that are usually third-party tested for purity, and so that you are sure that there are not that there are no heavy metals in there, and the oil is done properly and extracted properly. And remember to put the omega-3 in the fridge when you get them, because this oil can go really rancid very fast. So you want to keep it in the fridge, and the dose obviously depends on what you want to achieve and the weight of your cats, for example, and also other factors, of course. So reach out if you need more help with the dosing for your cat. Now, another supplement that I would definitely touch on in this video is B-complex vitamins. These vitamins are critical for nerve repair and cellular energy. And the Great B complex supplement is generally really safe to use, as vitamin B is water soluble. So it gets excreted with the urine in case you give a little bit too much. And it protects also neurons, and which is very important, obviously, for all these neurological issues. And for example, it supports neuron during seizures, but also supports calming GABA synthesis, and it supports nerve insulation. And it is also generally pretty palatable, so it's not the most difficult thing to give your cats. And okay, so we move on to phosphatidylserine, which is a compound that is very common in human brain and brain health, but it's very powerful for cats too, and particularly cats with dementia. And when dementia is part of the picture, you should definitely think about using phosphatidylserine. So it helps with memory recall, and it helps with rebuilding neural cell walls, and also it can improve cognitive clarity and focus. So Another supplement I would like to touch on among the supplements that I have chosen here is lion's mane mushroom. And mushroom extracts deliver bioactive compounds that support nerve growth factor, also called NGF, promoting neural plasticity. Lion's mane in particular is awesome for brain and gut support, and not very bitter in taste, where there are other mushrooms that are much more bitter, so they're a little bit more tricky to give. I have a full training on how to give supplements depending on whether they taste nice or not, and whether they are a lot of supplements or a small amount of supplements. But and whichever form you have to give your cat, I have a training for that. But because this is one of my superpowers, to be able to actually peel cats successfully and nicely enough at least. And so mushrooms are the cool stuff right now. So you have to be very careful with what brand you choose. And again, I will put a link with my recommendation in the description below if you want to get this for your cat and you want to know that you get a great product. So I'll put my recommendation down in the description for you. Now, if you're unsure how to get any of these supplements into your cat, as I was saying before, like pill capsules, oils, or whatever you want to supplement your cat with. So I offer step-by-step training inside the HCC, which is the Holistic Cat Club. We cover everything from the techniques that you can use and the equipment you can get to help you. And then we train you to approach this process with the right attitude, which is extremely important when you have to pill your cat. And also there are trackers in there that you can use to keep track of your progress, because there's always progress that you need to notice when you start using these things. And of course, I can also help you with dosing, which is usually based on, as we said before, weight and condition and other factors, of course. So now let's talk about home-based therapies for neurological support. This is a really exciting part of this video for me, because I think that these therapies can make a real difference for your cats with neurological issues. And for example, what your cat experiences every day shapes their brain. And that means that your home routine can heal or harm their neurology. So cats thrive on predictable routines, particularly cats with nervous system dysregulation. And so you have to feed, play, and interact at consistent times as much as possible. And so you want to look at, for example, environmental stability. So, for example, you can set fixed feeding, play, and rest times, and you can use the same room lighting, gentle sounds, and soft tactile cues, for example, so that over time your cat learns what safe feels like, really physically around the environment. You can also look at enrichment, for example, where you can use mental challenges through scent trails or food puzzles, or some vertical jumps to stimulate neuroplasticity, and maybe a hiding box with food hidden inside that can turn into play, and this can rewire fear more than you think. So this is something that you might want to explore as well. And also, for example, creating safe zones is very important for your cat. So say a zone with soft bedding and warmth and some and low traffic, I would say, that can become the core to regulating your cat's nervous system. So you can label it as a nervous system recovery room, for example, and in your mind, and you can honor it often and regularly with quiet presence, allowing your cat to decompress in there. So there are also calming rituals that you can set up. So you can begin, for example, your mornings, or you can end your evenings with a 2-minute ritual that, for example, your cat loves, like some slow blinking or some gentle petting, or you can play with your cat's favorite toy, or maybe you can put some piano music every time you leave the house. So these small rituals regulate the autonomic responses, which are those automatic involuntary physiological reactions that are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. And this is the part of the nervous system that regulates essential body functions that you don't really consciously control. So anything to do to modify the elements of space and time, which is what we have just discussed right now, is grouped in my respect framework under the lifestyle section, which is very, very important for nervous system regulation, because this might seem basic, but actually it's part of the foundations for a cat, because your cat's nervous system needs to feel safe before it can actually heal. Now, there is another therapy that I would like to touch on today that you can do at home. So it is hands-on, as it is part of a proactive cat care, but it is actually non-invasive. So this is the red light therapy, which is one of my absolute favorite home therapies that you can put in place for your cat. So this is one of my favorite modalities for at-home neurological support in this case, because it is gentle, it is safe, it is very effective. And you can use a veterinary approved red light device to apply photobiomodulation, which is what red light therapy is officially called, over the spine or at the base of the scalp, for example, or on the joints for about 15 minutes a day. Now, even better, because in this case, with the device, you have to actually hold the device for those 15 minutes. And if you change location, you have to hold the device in a different location. So for busier people, and also for cats that prefer to have this therapy done without you being completely involved, you can actually get a mat. So there are beautiful little mats with red light, emitting red light in the right wavelengths, and where your cat can lie and heal at the same time without any active intervention on your part. And usually this provides also a gentle warmth that usually cats love. So it is a very easy therapy to give your cats. And so photobiomodulation, like we said just before, is scientifically backed, and it has several benefits. So in this case, we want to definitely remember that it improves circulation, it reduces inflammation, and it stimulates cellular repair. These are all very relevant in terms of neurological support for cats. And in fact, this is excellent for seizure cats recovering from inflammation, or senior cats with joint pain or brain fog, and also trauma cats who can't handle touch just yet. So I have actually an amazing product to recommend by a fantastic brand, which is Photonic Health, and I will share the link in the description below, which also gives you a nice $25 discount. And make sure that you use the coupon code Paola Zanibelli Davis to get your discount. And remember that Photonic Health offers lifetime guarantee on all its products, and will also enroll you free of charge in a course where you can discover how to use the product that you buy in the most effective way, so that you're covered under all points of view, and you can use these devices the best possible way to get the best effect on your cats. So I trust this company, they are amazing. So I will leave my link in the description below if you want to get one for your cats. And so here's the main concept. So after all these things that we have discussed today, medication often address and suppress symptoms. Holistic therapies build resilience and heal from within, rebalancing a system that is out of balance, so that you can get rid of most medications in the long term. Together, they complement each other, and meds can give you an edge to start with sometimes, but meds alone rarely heal. So with the holistic care added to that, the goal isn't just controlling seizures or managing aggression. The goal is actually nervous system regulation, so your cat can return to curiosity and playfulness and affection and peace and a feeling of safety, of course, which is the base of all healing in this case. Because in a nutshell, we want more quality of life, of course, and that's exactly what the holistic path offers. In part 4, we will tie everything together, and we will explore why a truly integrated holistic approach is what brings long-term success. I will also walk you through the path that I guide people through inside my own program, so stay tuned for that. And right now, don't leave without downloading your 5 steps to longevity guide using the link in the description below, because this resource can give you a great starting toolkit to keep your cats around in wellness for as long as possible. Your cat doesn't need to suffer in silence. There are answers, there is support, and you don't have to figure it out alone. So download the checklist, start the journey, and as always, I will see you next time. And until then, love your cats as much as you can.